Hey, what's up guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Today we finally have the performance review on the Kyrie 1, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, so here is the traction. As most of you already know, it's full-length herringbone from heel to toe, and the toe even wraps all the way up around the entire forefoot. All of this is rubber here, the black and the red sections. Now, there's been many varying opinions on the Kyrie 1's traction, and I don't think any one of them necessarily has been wrong. I'd say under the right circumstances or conditions, the traction is definitely excellent. But under the wrong circumstances, such as a not so well-maintained court, and I'm not speaking about dust, I'm talking about the finish of the floor, that's where you could run into some sort of issue. Personally, I didn't run into that issue even when I was on a not so clean court. These things actually grip the floor really nicely. So if you play on well-maintained courts, I'm sure that this is going to be a great option. And again, personally, I didn't feel like this traction pattern here or setup was anything less than awesome in my time playing in it. But again, I didn't play on like a floor that I thought was just really dirty. For some reason, even the 24s that I went to were really clean. Now, as far as cushion is concerned, we have a small rectangle unit, Zoom Air unit, I should say, right here. You can also say or see where it says Nike Zoom underneath the rubber pattern, which is kind of neat. It's anywhere between 8 to 10 millimeters thick, and it's encased within the Phylon midsole. Now, my first night playing these, I actually thought that they were pretty darn decent. Transition was pretty smooth and fluid from heel to forefoot, and I didn't really notice anything negative about them until the longer that I played in them. Most foams are made with like heat and air along with the foam, sometimes rubber compounds and things like that to make it a little bit more bouncy. And once these things compress, you're basically compressing or popping all the little air pockets out of the shoe. And this basically happens in this shoe very, very quickly. Like you compress or get rid of a lot of the air pockets that are in there, making the shoe feel very, very dense. Now, there are these compression lines all around the shoe, which definitely help with that, but it wasn't substantial enough in my opinion to really make a huge difference. And again, it just kind of made the entire thing feel almost like it was dead weight attached to your foot. Not in a heavy sense, but just in like a lifeless sense. Now, with a setup like this, there are pros and cons, just like with anything. Cons, obviously, is that it's not the best in terms of impact protection, but the benefits from having something like this is that you get great court feel and you get a lot of responsiveness, so you have an increased reaction speed or reaction time because you're not sinking into the shoe. But for me personally, it just wasn't a great setup. My knees and my lower back, especially like the night after, or not the night after, but like the day after, it was just really like, man, you can tell that this thing lacks heavily in impact protection and cushion. So great for younger, speedy guards, not so great for some of us older folks. Now, if you guys have checked out the Kobe 10 review, you already know what the deal is with these guys here as far as the upper. Basically, it's a textile mesh, and that is glued to an entire fuse upper. And with that being said, most of you guys already know how I feel about fuse. It's not my favorite. So personally, I just didn't like the setup here. And as mentioned in the Kobe 10 review, I did really like the toe, especially once they were broken in. The tongue here is made out of neoprene, and then the forefoot section is made out of the same stuff. I believe it's actually part of the inner sleeve or inner boot, which you can see right there is attached to the tongue. So I think that travels down all the way into the forefoot region. And in this section, the only areas of fuse are right around here and back, and then this little toe rand right there for some protection or durability up in the front. And what I liked about this is even with the toe dragging, I haven't peeled this off yet, but I'm pretty sure you can. And because it's all clear and it's not like has like a finish or anything like that, it's not going to show a lot of wear and tear, which I think is a good touch. So with this type of setup, you're basically getting a lot of flexibility right up at the front once the shoe is broken in. But from here back, you're still maintaining a lot of support and structure because the fuse is not going to, stretch or break down. Again, personally, I do not like this setup. However, lots of people do. So if you like this type of thing, then you're definitely going to enjoy this. It just basically is just a little bit too stiff, or a little stiffer than I'd like. I really like wovens and things like that. I don't feel like plastic breaks in the same way that a woven or a knit or even a leather would. So again, if you like a lot of structure and durability, this is going to be a great option. However, if you're looking for something that's kind of just like right out the box ready, you're going to want to keep looking. In terms of the fit, it's incredibly awkward, just to like put it bluntly. This shoe is seriously narrow. Where you see these little black areas right here, it pinches the foot like crazy. So while I got my regular size and they fit me just fine, there was a ton of adjustments throughout the couple weeks that I was wearing these where I just had to consistently readjust the laces to get a decent fit. If you're wide-footed, even if you're not wide-footed or narrow-footed, whatever you might be, I highly recommend trying these on before purchasing. Go in store, especially if you find like a cheaper deal online, go in store first, try them on, and then go and order online, just so that you don't put them on and get surprised being like, holy cow, these things are really, really tight. But with that being said, they do break in. It just takes forever. I don't even know how long I've had these, but I've had them for quite a while, and I've been wearing them, and they just really weren't getting any better until just recently. They actually remind me quite a bit of the KD5, because that was another shoe where when I first wore them, I just wasn't feeling them. They cause a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. The more that you wear them, they break in, and over time you end up enjoying them. So the more time that I played in these, the more I enjoyed them. But again, it just took forever. In terms of lockdown and support, I thought they were basically okay at best. It wasn't anything incredible, but it wasn't awful as well. I didn't find that the heel was too supportive. This wasn't as strong as I had hoped for as far as containing the foot from a side-to-side movements. And then I definitely had to lace these guys all the way up, otherwise my heel would feel like it was popping out of the shoe. One of the benefits of that though is by lacing this area up really tightly, you definitely feel the benefits of the molded collar. It's got some really awesome padding right in here, which I found to be really, really comfortable, which is typically why I do lace them down to here. One, because I think it's more comfortable for me personally, and two, I like lows. So the closer that I could get a shoe to feeling like a low top, the more comfortable I am. I don't like a lot of restriction up top, but with these, it was so comfortable that it didn't bother me. Now, you can't see a traditional shank plate, but there is a small torsional plate right inside the shoe. It's directly underfoot. They do this with a lot of their lower budget models, or any model that you don't see with a shank plate. Not every model, but most models. And then you have this flat stable base, which gives you quite a bit of stability, I thought. It's always nice when you have something that's just like really neutral and you can do your thing without having to kind of adjust or get used to the setup. There's no real outrigger here, but this is a full-on rubber shell, so it's not going to break down and teeter over either. So like I said, they were okay, they were decent at best, they weren't anything too impressive or too crazy, and for their price point, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. So overall, I think the Kyrie one is okay. It's not bad, it's not good, definitely not great, but it is definitely okay. Traction was definitely their greatest attribute. While I know that it's a huge hit or miss for some people, I personally found that it was a huge hit. And I literally can't remember the last time that one shoe had so much differentiating feedback from person to person. Basically, if you go and check forums, websites, comment sections, things like that, people leaving reviews of the shoe, either people really, really love it or people really, really hate it. And like I said earlier, I didn't love it or hate it. I was kind of more indifferent. It's not great, it's not good, it's definitely not bad, it's just kind of okay. Now, with all that being said, I honestly feel that there is a little bit better bang for your buck models out there, whether it be an older model that you happen to find on sale over at clearance or whatever it is, or even a newer model like the KB Mentality, which is only $100, or the Curry one, which is only $10 more than this guy, and those I feel give you much more bang for your buck. So it's not bad, especially for a first shoe and the price point, but I'm definitely not eager to lace these guys up and go play again. So that'll pretty much take care of it. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. Hopefully this helped you out a little bit. Stay tuned to the end of the video for the scorecard. It'll list their price, their weight, as well as all of the scores that I gave, all the attributes. If you have any questions on the scorecards, there's going to be a link in the description box below that's going to take you to a full-on explanation of what the new score system means. Again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. Stay tuned for more, and until next time, guys, have a good one.